Good morning to you. It's 5 minutes after 8 o'clock. Welcome to Island Tea. It's July 3rd. And as we advance into the summer, and as you, if you've been following the news, Kay, Kortensia is with us today. Sad news of Beryl barreling towards Jamaica. I don't know if it's touched down yet, but I have some friends. I'm in a chat group, a Jamaican chat group. Track and field. Track and field chat group. It's he runs a YouTube track and field blog, so I'm in the chat group.
Okay.
So a while ago, actually, when you came, I was just finishing typing up, telling them I hope everybody stays safe because based on the track I saw yesterday, the track forecast, it looks like they're gonna get like a direct hit, basically. Well, let's hope. Boy, I mean, after what we saw, that happened with. I think I sent you the video.
You see how Union Island is flattened? You see Carriacou? Carriacou remind me somewhat of Barbuda. Good morning, everyone. Good morning to the diaspora. Good morning to the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. And when I say diaspora, I mean regional and international. Thank you for joining us. But those places are off. I feel so bad for the folks.
We played about 3 minutes of video yesterday, and I promised I would play some more with the residents talking about, what they were going through.
But it says, Jamsa, it has killed at least 6 people, 3 in Grenada, 2 in northern Venezuela, and 1 in St. Vincent and the Grenadine.
2 in northern Venezuela, really?
Yeah, and they say one of the victims died in Grenada's capital after a tree fell on their home, Mitchell said.
Oh, my God.
And then, remember, it was a Category 4, then it went up to a Category 5, and then when the winds went down from 157 to 155, shoved it back to a Category 4. And the way it's going, Beryl is just showing herself. As I said, I empathize. I look at people taking videos, and I'm sure you would have seen it too, of the roofs like lifting off, and then you're just seeing the baseboard, and then you're wondering how long is that board going to hold up. I see big water tanks, the black tanks, jams are rolling down roads. I was like, what's going on here? And for the last minute folks that were tying up their boats, I'm still hoping that fisherman that fell when the water came up when he was running, I am still hoping he's well. He's okay, because I hope he didn't fall under and anything pinned him under, but I didn't hear of any deaths in Barbados. So hopefully he just fell and he managed to get up thereafter.
Yeah, I haven't heard any deaths. In the news this morning, it talked about the fisheries complex being damaged, extensively damaged, and so on. And I was telling AZ yesterday about the video I saw with water that was like about could have been knee deep, maybe, or maybe even half thigh deep, running through what looked like to me that bus terminal in Bridgetown. Yeah, the one there by the bridge.
Christchurch look a bit messy because I saw some of the videos and it looked a bit messy.
Christchurch, wow.
Yeah. I'm like, geesh, this is crazy.
And then, the thing is, those countries, they're I don't think their building codes are as stringent as ours, because they've it's not usual for them to have these types of storms.
Yeah.
Well, not Grenada so much, but I'm more mean Barbados and even Trinidad. Yeah.
Well, Trinidad didn't really get anything. Tobago gets a little something, Tobago, but nothing much. But it's Grenada, it's St. Vincent, and we know what Ivan did to Grenada back as the man said. He there was one patron that said a terrible hurricane hits every 20 years, and apparently they built a guest house in Carriacou, and it's 24 years, so they say it's on track.
Oh boy!
When you hear people say things like that, you be like,
I've heard that before. There are patterns. Apparently, there's some rough patterns with earthquakes as well too. Apparently,
boy. Not looking forward to that part.
Yeah.
But my prayers are with all those folks in the Windward Islands and the other islands that have to deal with Beryl, including Jamaica and the other ones that are gonna. Whose path it's on, because it says it's heading for the U.S.
Yeah.
You could imagine when it gets
well, it's the U.S., but also the track, is it tacked? to the right? Because when I was seeing it, based on the track they gave yesterday, it was looking like it was heading for the Yucatan Peninsula.
Yeah, Mexico and stuff, but they did say USA is included.
Yeah.
And the Yucatan Peninsula has a lot of tourist attractions in Mexico, so I know. Nobody wants a hurricane, but as they said, the warmer oceans, the temperature, everything is just driving everything up.
And we've just been joined by returning champion, Easy.
Good morning to everybody. How is everyone doing this beautiful morning?
We're good. You?
In the Twin Island Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis, I am wonderful. Just giving God thanks and praise for us. And another bright day, as I sat here and listened as both of you spoke about the hurricane. I think we have much to be thankful for. And as a federation, being blessed, not experiencing much of the devastation, due to the passing or aftermath of a hurricane. Of course, our prayers are out there. We pray for our brothers and sisters within the Caribbean region. We pray for our brothers and sisters in Jamaica who are there now, and we know that Hurricane Beryl, she is fastly approaching. I think last night I heard last night that perhaps then would have been 16 hours, and then the hurricane would have been over Jamaica. That was sometime last night, so I am guessing that it's happening very soon now. Yes.
They said.
Well, actually, they posted a video, and one of them posted a video in the chat, the Jamaica chat. I didn't. Let me see. God, I hope it's not.
But I'm reading something here from Loop, and it says Beryl smashed multiple records even before its major hurricane level winds approach land. They said the powerful storm is acting more like monsters that form in the peak of hurricane season, thanks mostly to water temperatures as hot or hotter than the region normally gets in September. This is July. 5 hurricane experts told the Associated Press. Beryl sets the record for earliest Category 4 with winds of at least 130 miles per hour, 209 kilometers per hour. The first ever Category 4 in June. It also was the earliest storm to rapidly intensify with wind speeds jumping 63 miles per hour. That's 102 kph in 24 hours, going from an unnamed depression to a Category 4 in 48 hours. And I'm looking at a picture here, and it says rubble-strewn streets of Hillsborough Carrier Crew reveal the devastation caused by Hurricane Beryl.
Yes.
Wow.
I was listening to a news clip last evening, and there was a gentleman who was speaking about the impact of the hurricane in Carriacou as a news reporter, basically giving his view,
the guy in
or
the
his story.
blue rain jacket, right?
I think it could be.
Yeah, he said he came the day before.
It could be. Could be. Yeah.
Is that part of the one I played yesterday?
I think that could be too,
Yeah, because remember it's long. We only played about 3 minutes of it. You want to play it? I think we should play it again because I really wanted to hear what the carrier, the carrier. I thought it was good. And I guess I have to walk back what I was saying yesterday because at first, because when I saw the guy at the top, I thought it was going to be about him. But then
because when you made mention of that and then I heard what he was saying in my mind while I was listening, I was like, but he didn't make it about him.
Yeah, that's true. which was good. So I'm wondering now because the impression I got was that he was
like maybe he lived on Carriacou or he was a tourist or something. But then it seems like he's a reporter. Or
it seems like he came to track the storm, but he wasn't expecting to see what he saw, because from what he said what he saw yesterday is not what he's seen today, because the beach that was there yesterday is basically not there today. He went and talked to some owners, and you see where he was staying, where the roof came off. It looks like a nice little hotel or something, because the doors have numbers, and the roofs. His room, he said he survived in there. And I'm thinking back on my friends that were in Dominica when that storm had hit, and they basically survived in their bathroom underneath a door, holding on to a door for dear life.
Oh my God! And you know, the thing is, a lot of those homes don't even look very fragile. They're like, they're plywood. A lot of times you plywood and stuff.
Yeah. When I looked at them, as I said, it reminded me so much of Barbuda, because Barbuda has the same, because the houses are moved on trailers, and then they're put on these blocks that I said, how do these houses manage to hold up on these blocks with occupants and everything, furniture and everything in there? And it's like four blocks.
How did they do toilets and so?
I guess they're attached somehow. I guess once they put the house on the structure, they do everything else, because the houses are built one place, and then I watched them move it. Antigua was the first place I go and see a house moving on trailers. Then I got accustomed to seeing it after a while.
Yeah, I always wonder why it was like that in Antigua, because I mean.
But I wish I had a picture to show you the blocks that they're on, and they stay on those blocks. They don't come off.
I used to famously hear about, and then I saw it for myself. You know, that you'd see an Antiguan driving a Lexus or like a Lincoln or something, and then you see where they live.
And we're not being mean or anything.
No, we're not being mean, but it was kind of
everybody
jarring.
said that, and I was like shocked when I in Antigua. They say, "Oh, you see you driving that? Look to see where." How they used to say, "Look to see where for he live," because they like to say for he live, and then you'll be like, "Oh, really?" When you see the car beside the house, you're like, "Whoa, yeah." Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you mean people putting more focus on what
the
they
cars,
drive,
than what they live in. I don't think it's sort of way.
Yeah, but the impression I got, it seems as though it has something to do with maybe the soil, or in terms of how easy it is to build or whatever. I could be wrong.
You mean, or
it's not that? It's just that they're flashy people.
Well, they have fancy cars, but they live in those houses.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I remember even one time I went there for WINNFM, and the guy from the Ministry of Tourism, he took us. He went home one time in the bus, and I mean it was okay. But then I remember some of the houses next to him. I was like,
the affluent people live in the built-up concrete fancy houses, and then the other folks, the middle class or the other ones, they live in the.
So clearly, sometimes it's not necessarily that people can't afford the fancy homes.
It's just what they
put the priorities. Yeah,
you said the correct thing. Exactly. So Jamster, as last night I went to the piano recital. That's what.
You went?
Yeah. I was surprised. It was really good, and it had a lot of people.
It usually does. I used to go
I
to
never
it.
went. I was shocked.
Yeah.
I didn't even know so many children were in there. So kudos to you, Miss Lawrence. You guys did a great job last night. I didn't even know my cousin played. He shocked me last night. Kid and Pfeiffer Jones. Okay. I was like, when I saw the name, I was like, who? What? I even sent the video to my husband. I said, look, your cousin is playing. He was like, I didn't know he played. And he did a great job. Listen, those young people were excellent. This young lady, she played The Careless Whisperer by George Michael. Oh my God, she was good piano.
Okay.
Then you had Mr. Franks. Let me tell you, I was like shocked. And then the twins, oh my God, they were so cute. And then her pink hair, she was so adorable. Listen, the children were great. All the selections were great. I see folks like Issa Kamal, and I'm thinking all of these folks probably are former students. And listen,
I think he went to Miss Wall.
Okay, but
Kamal,
but I'm like, oh my, the kids.
Yes. How the Lawrence School of Music has been there for some time.
So did you go last night?
Really, I wanted to go, but the Tyrrell Williams Primary School had its graduation yesterday, so I attended the Tyrrell Williams Primary School.
So here we go. Where's Tyrrell Williams? You see what I'm saying?
Oh,
no, I mean,
I know what you're saying.
Honestly, where's that one?
It is in Old Road.
You sound like you're not even sure.
No, I'm sure.
Jam stuff. He's correct. He's correct.
I don't know.
Oh boy.
I was thinking because I said you had the conversation just last week. We had the conversation just last week.
Was it last week?
It was last week. It was Friday.
Okay.
Whereby I gave you a name of a school, the Violet Petty School.
That was the same one you gave me?
No, that wasn't the same one. I gave you the Violet Petty School.
Oh, Violet Petty.
And I gave you homework to research it, but someone had already called in or hinted or sent
you see how he retconned the
information to you.
You see how he retconned the Friday? You didn't give any homework.
But no, we went to Google.
Oh, you went to the Oh, you
we went to the Google.
You see how slippery he is? Yeah.
So
turn it around.
So I went to the graduation of the Tyrrell Williams Primary School. I must commend the principal, deputy principal, the entire teaching staff, the parents, the students, the auxiliary workers. They did a fantastic job over the last academic year in terms of sports, and the students, 28 of them graduated. We had Mr. Gumbs as the valedictorian, and also he did very well in sports. In fact, he was the top athlete. So he was the top academic performer and athletic performer. I think that's commendable. And the salutatorian was Miss Freeman, and so many prizes were given out. So many congratulations to the students as they make their way to the high school. Graduations in July. I appreciate graduations in July, back to the time before, COVID made things a little off balance. Having the graduation in July, then you go to the school in September. I think of recent times, I think there might have been some delay of the July graduations further down in the year.
I saw one last Friday at Royal St. Kitts. I think it was the Tucker Clark Primary School. Because I saw a child that I know goes there. I was actually shocked to know that his little self is in grade 6 because he's very little. I was like,
yes. What? And, graduation ceremonies are often very inspiring,
Yeah.
You look back, you reflect, you look at the young people, so much possibility, so much hope.
Yeah.
And hoping, into their eyes and through their work in the future that they too will help to shape St. Kitts and Nevis into what it will be.
Even last night as I was looking around in the auditorium and I saw some kids and I'd be like, imagine I'm going to be this old and that's going to be my prime minister in my head. And I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yes, as we age, and as we look at the younger ones, we realize that, the future lies in their hands, and it's for us to ensure that there is a future, and that the people of St. Kitts and Nevis continue to grow, continue to develop, continue to push way above our weight.
And I must say to Azard, I was quite shocked that they had little children last night at the concert, and they were well behaved. They weren't fidgety. They weren't moving up and down. I was like, wow, these parents and Miss Lawrence is doing a great job with these children. They were well behaved. I commend Miss Lawrence for the work that she's putting in. I remember as a child, because I was a student of her a music class from the age of 5. You understand? And so I knew how she was back then, and to see at the age of 5, I'm now 35. 30 years ago.
So that's 30 years ago. I would have known her for like 30 years. It's just commendable. It's remarkable, even, that she's still doing what she's doing.
And still have, well, as I said, it was my first time. I expected to go and see like 10 students. I was like, what?
That is a grand recital.
Yeah, I took my niece and nephew.
Yeah.
They enjoyed, but little truth, my niece said, okay, I still want to be an artist because I was trying to get into music. She'd be like, I still want to paint. And then my nephew be like, I think it's past my bedtime. I'd be like, if you go home, you're not going to sleep. He'd be like, but it's past my bedtime. I couldn't.
You will be surprised how many persons have passed through her school of music.
Yeah, I realized.
Were there any violin performances?
Yes, of course, of course.
Her daughters, Mrs. Lawrence's daughters, when I was a student, they would, I think they played the violin Yeah, as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's really good, you know. Seeing so much
trying to see.
talent.
They had violin and duets. They had I want to say Sadie Hillocks and Abigail Hillocks. A lot of siblings are in there, and I like that they follow each other. And then they had a next piano, violin, and duet, and that was Joy Williams and Hannah Williams. And then they had a piano solo, that's the Turkish March. And then they had a violin selection, since we're talking about that. And that was by Farah Manning, Jaya Leon, Cherise Antoine, Nyla Manning, Ashley Franks, Jill Shiverton, and Nabila Pemberton. They had a lot of young women there. Then they had a solo where they had young ladies, young gentlemen, and then some other young ladies. But it was nice to see the gentlemen in the choir. I still think we need more gentlemen in the choir. So parents, if you're listening, after last night I'm sold, it's a place to send your children. It was my first experience, and it was a great experience. So send the young men to Mrs. Lawrence's music school.
Yeah.
And
you know, she used to have, I think Azard might know about this. You know, Miss Lawrence used to have a music appreciation group. You know about that?
Expound.
The idea was, you know, people that have book clubs and so, right? Like you read a book and
okay.
So it was like a group to, and she had actually, I remember she had actually invited me to join. I did join. I did go to one or two, but then because I was DJing a lot, so a lot of times when I had meetings, I couldn't make it, or I had to be here. So Adrian was part of the group as well.
I see.
Okay.
I was the youngest one in the group, actually.
Oh, look at you! Look at you!
How old?
That was like about a few years ago.
Is Azard trying to age you?
A few years ago?
Yeah, it was not. It was like in the 2010s or somewhere around there. Or maybe 2000, between 2000 and 2012, somewhere around there.
Between 2010 to 2012?
No, between 2000 and about 2012, somewhere in between.
Okay, that's a long gap.
Yeah.
So Miss Lawrence continues to do, and with her school and everything. Did you hear the song? You were there early, right?
So you very early, of course.
You heard the song. Music, sweet music, we bring you tonight. We play the piano for your delight. We raise our voices to enchant your ears. Music we have prepared, and with the atmosphere.
Yeah.
Hey, let's take it. We have a call coming.
That song is really nice.
Island T, go right ahead.
Yes.
Good morning to everybody.
Hey, what's up?
In Jesus' name.
Hey, good morning, Gregory.
Good morning to everybody. God bless you all and your listeners. First of all, I would like to say, thank God, thank Jesus Christ, who is the Lord God Almighty, for saving us from the hurricane, What about the news? Is there was another system outside in the Atlantic as well?
Well, interestingly, yesterday, you remember when we were playing the clip, one of the carrier coons, I don't know if that's what you call them.
That sounds good.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, he mentioned that there were three systems. One of them said that there were three systems behind
I heard
that.
a Daryl.
And I was like, really? And I think I told Easy, I have to research that. But
yeah, I think there's a
so
coming.
I'm going to take a look now. I really hope that's not true.
Yeah, I think one was in the Gulf. One of the three was in the Gulf. And then you had Beryl. And then you had one outside.
Okay, so I'm going to have to, let me go check weather. I do have weather.com open here. So let me see if, so anything else you wanted to add?
No, I would just like to say, let us all always be grateful towards Jesus Christ, who is the Lord God Almighty, because in the end...
Oh, wait. Let me stop you right there. God and his son are two different beings. I hate when people conflate the two. They're not the same being, because it would not make any sense for someone to come down to earth and say, while his dad is saying, this is my son in whom I am well pleased. Does that make sense that it's the same person? That would not make any sense. That would be a crazy person.
No, they're not the same person, but they're the same being. The Trinity is...
Yeah, but Jesus is not being. Jesus is not God, and God is not Jesus. That's what I'm saying. They're one in spirit, in the sense that they're all on the same page and they're of one accord, but they're different people, Father and Son. What's wrong
Trevor,
with that?
Yes. Trevor, I would recommend you read John chapter 1, verse 1 and verse 14 of that very same chapter.
But then that
in the
would
beginning
be.
was the Word, and the Word was with God,
But
and
then,
the Word was God,
but
and the
then,
Word became flesh and dwelt among us.
Yeah, but then that would be subject to my interpretation, wouldn't it? Clearly, your interpretation is different to mine.
But the question is your interpretation in line with the grammar and the context of that passage? That's the question. Anybody can give any I could interpret you as saying by Greg what you're saying is correct. I could interpret you to be saying that. Anybody could give any interpretation they want to. The question is your interpretation in line with the grammar of the original language and the context? You know?
Yeah, but
because when I went to school and there's a teach me comprehension, they just say, hey, you got context is king. Cause you gotta go with context. You can't get any interpretation as you feel like. There's a right and wrong interpretation. So yes. So Jesus is God, and but of course that's not the reason why I didn't call him to debate that. But if you want to debate, then we could.
No.
But also, I would like to say that, you know, when people discourage you all from having biblical talk, remember, when we are in a pickle, when we are in trouble, it's the same God we have to run to. And who knows, just maybe, God might be sparing us over these years for the time being from these terrible destruction, because maybe somebody is on the radio preaching and telling his word. But as you know, in Spider-Man they said, well, with great power comes
great responsibility.
Yeah.
Well, with knowledge comes also great responsibility as well.
AZ actually knows who Spider-Man is.
No, go ahead, Greg. Go ahead.
No, Trevor is here.
No.
By the way, that passage is lifted from a great author.
Yes.
But I forgot who it was. I really forgot who the author is.
Yes.
So it's something specially made up for Spider-Man. They took it from some great author. I forgot who it was though. Okay. But who knows? Who knows? Maybe,
Did you see? Oh God, what's the name of the movie again? The movie that came out with Barbie.
Yeah, that's right.
Not Barbie, the other one. The one about the guy who developed. Oh God, I'm forgetting his name now.
What movie is it?
Oppenheimer.
Yeah, the A-bomb.
Yeah, I was just thinking about those quotes that stick with you. And I remember when the movie came out, right? And before I saw the movie, and I was thinking about stuff I'd read about him, where apparently when he saw the bomb go off, he was into reading Eastern literature and so, right? And I remember when he saw the bomb go off, he said he was reported as saying, I am become, what have I done? I am become death, the destroyer of worlds, right?
Yes.
From the Bhagavad Gita, that's the Indian thing, right? And and the funny thing was, when I heard about the movie, I said, it's going to be interesting to see how they do that scene. And just the way I imagined it is how they did it, which is funny. But I always thought that, like, that is one of those lines. It's like that line that they use in Spider-Man. I don't remember who did it, but that line and that other line, those are very powerful and kind of, profound saying.
It's good to see that Jamster and Gregory, Trevor and Gregory could bond over movies.
But I'm surprised. Well, I mean, no, I shouldn't say that.
Listen, Greg have people shocked here. Somebody said Greg watching Spider-Man is more of a surprise. Greg, you have people being shocked on the YouTube wall here.
Those movies are pretty good,
Yes. I do to a certain extent enjoy Marvel movies.
Yeah,
to a certain extent.
Yeah.
But not to go off and the movie, but I always thought that Einstein was involved in it was the Manhattan Project, the Manhattan Project.
He was involved.
Right?
He was involved as well.
But in the movie, make it appear. So in the movie, he told Oppenheimer, that's your baby. He didn't want a part of it. Remember that was the part in the movie when he went on the, I think he's on the university grounds or something like that, by a lake or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the movie make it appear as though he was never part of the Manhattan Project.
Well,
which I always thought he was.
Where he was a part of the setting up of the whole thing, and then he would have suggested some of the other people to recruit, like Oppenheimer and Fermi and some of the others.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I would recommend the movie. I think people should look at it. It's a very good movie.
Yeah, it's a pretty good movie.
Yeah, but
yeah, pretty good. Yeah, it was there. It was pretty good.
Yeah, but anyway, to finish this call, I would just like to say, who knows? Maybe God is sparing us a lot of these things because, maybe He has somebody speaking out and trying to tell us the right until when He patient wears out. So we never know. But people discouraging Bible talk, they don't know what they're doing because they be leading us down a very dark, destructive road if we exalt the Bible in everything. Only the Bible has all the answers and solutions we need, and only the Bible can save us from an eternal hell. So, yeah, thank you very much.
Okay, Greg.
Thank you, Gregory.
Thank you.
Why did you laugh?
Because I heard James is like, oh, Gregory's back now. Does it sound of that? Oh, okay. So it's it's good.
While we're on, let me tell you guys about some movies that everyone, the listeners, need to check out. You could say the 80s and the 90s are back. First we had the very successful Bad Boys 4, you could say, Ride or Die.
Yes.
And you guys know that Beverly Hills Cop is I think it's opening this weekend, if I'm not. That's Eddie Murphy with Eddie Murphy. You never saw any of those movies?
I saw Coming to America.
Yeah, well, you didn't see Beverly Hills Cop. No, heard about that.
Yeah, I know Beverly Hills Cop.
Eddie Murphy plays a detective called loose cannon detective.
Yeah.
California, LA detective named Axel Foley.
Listen.
And there's another 90. Oh God.
You know
what's
what's I mean, I enjoyed movies before, but I find right now I'm more interested in reality.
So you saw Oppenheimer then?
No, I haven't seen that one. But more reality-based stuff right now, to be honest. Yeah.
So Survivor would be up your alley.
I mean,
I used to be a big Survivor fan. I can't keep up anymore,
But
it's a little too contrived. My daughter is really into it.
Survivor?
She's been watching the last.
You know what was my next thing, Jamster? Amazing Race. You ever watch that? The Amazing Race? Where they travel around the world and then once you get in last. No. Planes and all kind of things.
Oh, okay.
But everything is economy class, right? So sometimes bikes, but bikes in the said country, not across. But yeah, I enjoy that. But I tried to look at it the other day, it's not the same. Nah, just like Survivor, I tried to catch up again and it wasn't working for me, so I just backed out.
It's always so contrived.
You want me to give you, when you guys finish the movie, I want to give you guys a fun fact. But it might be fun for me.
Yeah, go ahead.
Azard put in his disclaimer one time, Jamsa. Go ahead. Go ahead, Azard.
I can't remember the other movies.
Atlas. Anybody watch Atlas yet?
You mean Cloud Atlas?
No, Atlas with Jennifer Lopez. It's like AI. It's just showing you who's gonna be boss.
I saw the preview.
Yeah, Atlas is pretty good. So if you didn't watch it, you guys need to watch it.
Okay, so Jamsa, what I'll do, right? I guess you could I could get the name of the movies that you think are good, and I'll try to check them out. Where do you watch them?
Where do I watch it?
Yes.
At the cinema.
Oh, okay.
Where do you think
Why?
But there's a box you can pay for. I think it's $100 US.
I know, but you see, the thing is, there's
a lot of means in the
that's the dodgy thing. The dodgy thing is that a lot of people don't think, and this is something I've internalized because of my studies, my music industry studies, and so on. I had to. One of the things we don't internalize is we're paying for a TV service, and we like people. Like I see people, they'll boast, I have this movie and it hasn't come out yet, and I'm like, and usually I don't say anything, but in my mind I'm thinking, does this person realize this is illegal? And they could get in trouble because there's something called windowing in movies, right? Where you have the cinema window, then after the cinema window you have maybe they roll it out to like HBO and those, then network. Everything has been kind of disrupted.
I'm so happy that you're following the rules and you're not.
No, but actually, I'm like that. Actually, I said, let me go and pay and watch the movie because people,
I mean, I could be cynical and say, oh, they have enough money already. I know, I don't care.
Yes.
But same thing with software. Like,
Mhm.
I'll buy the software because a lot of these people they have to go to college.
Mhm.
They spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on their coding training.
Yes.
And then people come to me and boast about having cracked software for this and cracked software for that. And usually I don't say anything. I say, oh, okay. And I'm thinking, did like some of my close friends, I would say to them, well, I said, would you go to a carpenter? He'd say, you want a dining room set.
Yes.
You want a dining room set. Would you, you take the dining room set and not pay for it or even steal it? I say, it's no different. It's absolutely no different. It's the same thing. So why do you think the carpenter should be paid for his work but not the programmer, the person who wrote the software?
Mhm.
That's the way I look at it, and that's the way I was taught. You know, if you talking about intellectual property and all that,
Mhm.
you know. So
Yes.
I don't know. Maybe it sounds overly idealistic, but it's the right way to do it.
No, it
You know?
is. So, you ready for the fun fact?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
I thought you gave us already.
No, I didn't. Okay.
Go ahead.
So see it here, and
I want to hear where he's going with now.
it's about the U.S. presidential election.
Oh,
right?
okay. Mm-hmm.
And so the general election in the U.S. on the 2nd of November 2024 will mark exactly 20 years since a candidate for the Republican Party won the popular vote in a presidential election. Think about it.
Talking about Biden last time, right?
Biden won. So the Republican Party has not, a
Yeah,
candidate from the Republican
Has
Party
never
has
won the
not,
popular vote, right?
in about
Yeah.
20 years now.
Mhm.
Republican or Democrat?
Republicans.
Republican.
Yes, because of the Electoral College.
So,
The Electoral
Yes.
College.
So
is-
you're trying to say Trump has the popular vote?
no.
no,
Oh,
no. Meaning,
so-
if it was done by popular vote, the Republicans would never win
okay.
Over the last 20
over
years.
the last 20
okay,
years.
okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So in November it'll mark 20 years that the Republican candidate has not won the popular vote.
Okay.
We don't know how this one is going to go though in terms of how
I watched
I actually think Biden will actually get more votes this
You
time.
think so?
You think so?
Because I think people will realize that, okay,
Mhm.
listen, I don't think it's fair that he should be judged for 90 minutes. And he's done a very good job for the
'Cause
last
they're judging them for
3+
him
years.
for 90 minutes jams. I saw 5 black women from Pennsylvania, I think, talking about it this morning, and they say they don't think neither of the two of them are good candidates to run the country or run
Yes,
the
but,
election.
but you have to make a choice.
Mhm.
And
You
Biden
know?
is the better of the two.
You know? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there are some persons who, even some persons, there are some persons that I know who support Trump. They support Trump. I
Really?
know a good amount of persons might be even surprised who these persons are. They are in support of
Well,
Trump.
it's easy for them to support Trump if they. And I'm assuming these people don't live in the U.S. So
No.
right. So it's easy for them to support the psycho at a distance, from a distance, because it's not affecting them. I'm betting if they were living in the U.S. Where the rubber hits the road, they'd have a different take.
Probably
You know?
living there and being outside often gives you two different realities.
I think I was telling Kay last week, some Fortune 500 company CEOs, they all got together and somehow this has been kept quiet, I thought, because when I saw it, it wasn't like front page news, but I saw the story. I'm like, well, how is this is not bigger? All of them said that they can't support Trump because he would crash the economy basically.
Right.
Yeah, they said inflation would go up by 3.3%, I remember, on top of what it is now, and some other unsavory financial facts. They said that he would not be good for the economy, so they can't support him.
And
And everybody has their senior moments. Okay, except it's a little more literal with those two. I get it.
But I mean, Trump, I think he's late 70s. He's late 70s. But Biden is 81. I haven't seen Trump with any senior moment during that debate.
What I find odd,
during the debate, there wasn't really.
What
a
I find
senior
odd,
moment
I've
for him.
never seen CNN, maybe once, but I find them they're playing up all these moments with Biden. But I've seen way more with
You seen them?
yes, where he's calling Biden Obama, and he is in one state and saying he's in another state. And,
Okay.
and
I think
he was referring to. I think he was referring to. Who was it?
Yes.
Some Democrat had said something, and he was at a rally was referring to the person as Pelosi. I don't remember who it was, but a lot of stuff like that.
Yes.
And then he just lies. The guy is he just lies like he breathes. It's insane to me.
It's gonna be pretty interesting.
Mm-hmm. Hi, caller.
Yeah, Trevor?
Hey.
Yes.
Oh, Lord. Here we go.
Sorry, Jamster. It's me again.
Don't I know?
Yes. Let me say this. You're bigging up. You're calling Trump psycho, Biden. You know, you're giving him.
I'm being polite. I'm actually being very polite.
Psychos.
Trust me.
Yeah, both of them are psychos.
Why would you say that though, Greg? How come you put both of them in the same box?
Because it's the truth. It's the same truth. It's the truth. As a matter of fact, and you're talking about inflation and economics. Remember, the inflation went up to 9% on the Biden, you know? And yes, it came back down by going back up again. Remember that?
But what is this? What is this undue advocacy of Trump, or that I'm getting from someone who's supposed to be so godly and pious? I don't understand it.
There is no undue advocacy of Trump. It's just that we need to tell the truth about both of them.
But who said
and Biden has been more for war than Trump. Both of them has been for war, yeah, but Biden has been more for war than Trump.
Let me.
But during the debate, Biden said during the debate that the border wall, people, police, agents, is there for his policies. And during the debate, they posted, hey, no, we ain't for your policies. We don't advocate it. You know. So the line goes both ways.
But
the line goes
yes,
both ways.
but Gregory, it is demonstrably true that Trump lies way more than Biden does.
So Beryl Jones on the YouTube said Trump mixes up Nancy Pelosi and Hillary Clinton.
Yes, that's also okay. It was Hillary Clinton. Okay.
I swear.
But I think Trump. Hey, both of them. There are videos filled with gaps of both of them. Okay. But with all due respect, it is worse with Biden.
Somebody
especially when
said
it comes to completing sentences and that sort of stuff.
Someone says here on our YouTube page saying Greg watching Spider-Man is more of a surprise.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Oh, you said that.
Yeah.
Okay.
But Greg, Biden is the better of the two. I can't go with you with this Trump situation, but you seem to love Trump, you know. I don't understand. I thought you're Jesus, man. Trump is Barabbas.
Again, both of them are Barabbas.
No. One had to be better than the other.
No, both of them are Barabbas.
No, Mr. Biden is... Oh, Lord.
One is the left hand of Barabbas, and the other one is the right hand of Barabbas.
Oh, my God. Well, you see, you like him Barabbas, so you had to make up your mind. It's Jesus or Barabbas.
Gregory, let's say, and we're being hypothetical here. You're in the U.S. It's election day.
Greg voting for Trump?
Greg, you don't hold on to the same notion that, you shouldn't vote because these are not deacons or men within the church. You understand? You could do that. Which one are you going to cast your vote for?
Trump.
No, hold on. If I had believed in the present system, world system of voting, if I had believed in that and was to partake in it,
yes,
I wouldn't vote for none of the two. I would vote for a third party.
So then why equivocate about the two of them and act like they're exactly the same? Like, yes, because you're saying, the two of them are both terrible. That's basically what you're saying.
Yeah, and I don't find so.
The two of them are very terrible.
The man just make.
The two of them are psychos. They are walks and all that sort of stuff.
Oh boy.
Well, I thought you said no, but Greg, you can't have it both ways. You said that Trump didn't start any wars. Now you're saying they both war hawks?
He didn't start any new wars. He didn't start any new, but he maintained a number of them.
Yeah, but you never said that. You always come on here and say, he's never started any wars and blah, blah, blah.
No, he never started any new war. You know of any new war that he started?
No, but maybe
he never did start any.
Maybe the new caller might know of some. Caller, go right ahead.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you guys?
Good.
Wonderful. Yeah. How are you, Cleo?
I am fine, giving God thanks for another day. I'm healing the next day and walking on my grave. All of them is Barabbas. None ain't better than none. You see the differences, and I keep telling people. The difference between Trump and the rest of them is that the man is not a politician. The man is the pulse of the country. When he first became president, people believed that everybody, he would never be president. He would never be president. He's not going to be president. I stand in my pastor's house, and I said, look me, he's going to be the nominee. When they say he's not going to be the nominee, he's going to be the nominee. The man is the pulse of the country. You know what the difference between them and him? He's not afraid to say what he wants to say. A lot of them agree with a lot of the things he said, but they would not dare come out and say it. Why? Because they're politicians. The man is not a politician. He don't care what he say, whether you like him, correct. Yes or not. He speak his mind. He do what they're afraid to do, what they feel, but would not dare to be as bold as him. So all of them is Barabbas. All of them want to kill off the babies. Have a good day.
Thank you so much.
Oh boy.
You realize in all of this, right? Kamala Harris, they based on the approach, I don't know for what reason, still, I don't think she gets the
recognition.
And the push as much as you think that.
In all the crazy talk yesterday, in all the crazy talk about switching out Biden for somebody else, and I'm seeing these people who can be our grandfathers and fathers and so talking this nonsense, right?
Yes.
Someone had to point out to some of them that all the money that has been raised can't be just handed over to anyone else. You would have to go to VP Harris, and then even then there are other complications, because then you'd have to follow the rules and get the co-candidate, right? And find the co-candidate. So a lot of people that I think a lot of there's a bunch of chicken littles right now on the Democratic side. The sky is falling. Trust me, give it a month and everybody will forget about this stuff. The guy screwed up for 90 minutes. You can't write him off.
Exactly.
He did a pretty good job. Listen, do you know how big a deal it is that this guy got the whole of the EU, NATO, to come together to agree to help that hasn't been done in a long time. I mean, NATO has always been very fractured, and everybody always had their own. I mean, I remember there were speeches. Macron gave, and presidents before that, where they would be basically throwing shade at the U.S. about maybe the way they do things and so on. And Biden managed to get all those people to come together in one accord.
Listening to you, Jamster, say
that is not a small thing.
I am reminded by VP Harris of her statement. Sorry, I'm reminded of the statement of VP Harris that really spoke about yes, It wasn't really the best on the debate night, but she has been working with him over the last 3 years. And for her, it's a matter of performance and getting the job done. You understand? And that he has performed. And so there are talks. There are persons who say that, it won't be as easy to switch him out because there are certain states that might have certain regulations whereby the presidential nominee would have already needed to be named at a certain time. And so if they wait at a later date or further down, it might cause problems in certain states. So there are persons who are saying that, making that suggestion. In addition to that, you realize that the election, we're in July?
Yep.
So it's in November.
Election eve for the UK.
No, I mean for
No,
the
you
US.
said July.
UK election
I'm saying we're in July.
Oh, it's tomorrow, isn't it?
Yeah, it's tomorrow.
Yeah.
But
It's crazy.
I'm talking about the US. I'm saying we're in July. The election for the US is in November. So that's 4 months away. So if you're switching out anybody, let's say they get it done, that person really has 4 months, if so much, to really canvass and to win the support.
But what
of
if
the
that
nation.
person is somebody that's well known? You really think they'll need to work that hard to get the votes?
It's not as easy as they're making it sound.
Yeah, I understand what
Yeah.
Azard is saying and stuff, but I was wondering if it's, let's say it's a Kamala Harris, you switch her out. Don't you think?
Oh no, she's the one that's going to be a problem.
Okay.
It's the co-candidate is the issue, because they said if they switch out Biden, they're because of the rules, all the money would have to go to Miss Harris. But then what complicates it is that you have to find a co-candidate and you have to follow the rules there.
And that's what I was speaking about just recently, that there are certain state laws and certain rules that a switch out at this point would cause some complication.
I got you.
Yeah.
It's kind of late in the game.
Yeah, let's squeeze in a call. Mr. Morton is here for Farm Report. So, well, let's take
and then
a
have
call.
to run in a bit too.
That's right. Okay.
Yeah.
Caller, go ahead. I'll make it brief. We gotta go to the break.
Yeah. At the end of the day, the way how I look at it, the president's already elected, we just waiting for it to reveal in time. But Jamster, you say it was just a 90 minutes thing, hiccup. No, that's not the first time he had a hiccup. The man been zooming out all the time.
Oh, Lord.
There's time that he go into a Alzheimer's stage where he freezes up. Half the time I don't know if whether it's him or it's an AI operating for him. So I don't know, but
yeah, but the point.
And I live here in the US, right, Jamster? And let me tell you, things hard. So don't under Biden. It's not a bed of roses. Everything double force up here. It's rough.
So Cleo, would you say it was better under Trump?
Look, I had a little more money under Trump. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay.
But then, Cleo, before you go, because we are here talking to someone who actually lives in the US, so you give that sort of first-hand experience. So would you say, because under Biden inherited post-COVID, Biden inherited the Russia-Ukraine war and the high cost of living, would you think those play any factors in what is happening now and why Trump might have had more favorable economy?
Look me. These things are inheriting all that. I don't count all that. You know why? We print we own dollar, and when the market ready go up, it go down, and when they're ready, they print money for this and they print money for that. And they do all kind of manner of things when they want to, right? And then they take we taxpayer money and they fling it all over the place. Give it to this, give it to that, give it to, while we here suffering. The people on the street are homeless. The veterans, them lying on the street, one place to live. But we got billions of dollars going all over the world. Because what? We the rescuer for the rest of the world? What we don't say? Take care of home first, right?
Yep.
Stop throwing we money all over the place. Everybody, hurricane here and everywhere. Everybody looking for a handout. And we here can't get nothing. We suffering. Life hard, okay?
So,
It's rough.
So, Claire, you're there saying it's rough, right? And we have Kathleen White, who's on the Facebook, and she said, things will not be better under Trump. I live in the US too. Are you crazy? And
well, I don't know if it'll be better, but all I know is rough right now. I don't have foresight to see whether it's gonna be better. And if we go by the word of God, nothing gonna get no better. We need to strap in ourselves like you're on an airplane, buckle down, and if all who ain't give their life to Christ, we better go give it to them, because anyway, somebody got to bring in the Antichrist, and I don't know who it is, but the one alliance has to be formed.
If nothing is going to get any better, you don't switch out the responsible person for the crazed person and expect, the
president already been chosen in eternity, waiting to reveal in time, whoever it is. And like they come make life any better for me, because then again remember when Obama went in, black people thought he was gonna be their savior. Mm-hmm. He didn't give us nothing. We didn't get anything.
So Cleo,
goodbye. Life did not get any better for us either.
Cleo, you think
kind of got worse.
You think a lot of persons, because I see this comment here, but I'm going to paraphrase it. You think a lot of persons, maybe black persons, jobs are threatened on the Trump presidency, or would be threatened?
I think those are just tactic people use. I don't believe that. Mm-hmm. I think that's just tactics.
But Cleo, what are black jobs? Cleo, what are black jobs? Trump famously talked about black jobs last Thursday. What are black jobs?
Look me. I think it's a lot of fear mongering, and they try to put fear in people. I don't fall for those things anyway.
Okay, we have farm report.
Yes, thank you so much for your contribution. I like this because it proves the point that there are persons out there with different views. Even as we look at the presidential choice, there are persons who have different views on different things, and it's interesting. It's always interesting.
It's very interesting.
Take a short break. I'll have to leave now, but I wish you guys well, and do have a wonderful remainder of the day,
I just wish Americans would be a little more considered
and what's exciting?
responsible.
By tomorrow, because the UK is about, a few hours, we'll be closer to the determination of the, the election in the UK.
That's going to be, Yeah. And then the French one is when? The 7th?
This Sunday. Yeah, so by Monday we'll be able to have some news. And have some discussion.
Yeah.
Yes, okay.
Yeah, okay.
Maybe it's the way the brilliant gold liquid reflects our sunshine, or how the bright blue of its label mirrors the clear Caribbean skies overhead. Maybe it's the fresh, crisp taste of this beastly cold beer on a scorching hot day. Maybe it's even the way it brings us all together. But one thing is for sure, Carib is very much a part of who we are wherever we're from in the Caribbean. Carib, it's the way we play. Drink responsibly.
Insurance Company Limited, where you get more coverage for less.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
9:04. Here comes Farm Report, brought to you by Feed and Farm.
For all your animal needs, try the Feed and Farm Store SKN. We have the best quality products in feed, dewormers, grooming supplies, toys, treats, and minor medical supplies. Drop by the store on the Kim Collins Highway at the airport roundabout. We're open from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday to Friday and 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Saturdays. Give us a call at 669-FARM.
A little summer madness for the atmosphere, and as we get into Farm Report. Good morning, Mr. Morton.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
And to the
listening
audience.
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, Mr. Morton. So I'm going to start. So last week, I think it was Thursday, right?
Yep.
You had the agri strip right over there at the agro strip in, what is it? It's Pond Road. Yes, Pond Road, Frigga Bay Road. I want to know, how did that go?
I'll say it went on pretty okay. We didn't have the masses that we were looking for in terms of foreigners coming back to see what's going on. But generally, it was well supported.
Okay.
While we're in that, though, I'd like to express some thanks and kudos to the Department of Cooperatives under the leadership of Mrs. Allen. As we speak, they just wrapped up the beach cleanup down in Sandy Point. They're now going to be doing some sign erection, and I want to big them up and tell them keep up the good works. We're still supporting.
Oh, okay. So we know that went off well. So what else is happening on the farming scene at this moment?
Okay, this morning I want to take a different approach. Okay. I want to be more of a partner with the farming community. Okay. I want to share some information. We're in the middle of the hurricane, I shouldn't say the middle, the beginning of the hurricane season. And all indications are that it's going to be a very active one, as we have already seen. The record is now saying that it was the first time that you had such a powerful storm in July since they're keeping records. So if that is an indicator, it means that we have to brace ourselves for some turbulent time, and this is what I really want to talk about this morning.
So you can go ahead. I was wondering, though, before I told you to proceed, but then I still have a question. How does one protect their crops during a hurricane? Or you just let it fly with the wind?
Very intriguing question. Let me say that protection of crops is rather difficult. If you're going to have a monster Category 5 hurricane coming, I mean, steel cannot stand up to it, never mind a plant.
Oh, wow.
So you would understand it is very iffy if you can do anything to control. Okay. What can be done, though, is you select the type of crops you're going to plant during the season to minimize your loss.
Oh, so
and that is one of the aspects I want to deal with this morning.
Okay.
For example, rather than run into plantings like tomato and sweet pepper, trees that are above the ground, this is a time when you concentrate on planting tubers or root crops. That would help to brace the soil and keep the damage at a minimal level.
Okay.
While at the same time, in doing so, you would look for crops that are running like melon, cucumber, pumpkin, because they would actually try to shield the ground from the direct rain.
Okay.
And we know that in St. Kitts we have a serious problem with our topsoil going down to the sea, irrigation. So one of the things we can do is to, well, I shouldn't say irrigation. One of the things we can do is to try and minimize that movement of soil so that we would not lose our best soil to erosion.
Okay.
So I want to say to those farmers out there, especially those who are on slope lands or lands with a little incline, consider the crops that you would want to plant during the season. I know traditionally we would say it's a bad time to plant things like sweet potato. Reasons being one, they don't get the type of moisture that they should to develop properly, and due to the long days, they use most of the storage food in terms of growing rather than storing. So you don't normally get the kind of harvest that you would like, but it's a choice now between the harvest and the maintaining the structure of your soil, maintaining it that you can use it in years to come without having to pump all these different chemicals into the soil. So a choice of crop is very vital, very necessary. And this is something we need to look at. For example, in this time you look at crops that are going to be ground covered. And they would run and they would, as they run, they would let down their little roots, tentacles, and they would form a network. So when that rain begins to fall and it's not hitting the soil directly, it is like an umbrella for the ground, and you're trying to protect the soil from really being dislocated from one part to another part that you don't want it. While at the meantime, while we're looking at agriculture, there is a big move towards ground cover right now. There are those who favor the plastic. There are those who favor that little synthetic material that is much better than plastic in terms of covering. But none of those will do what the plant can and does. So we have to consider now, what are we going to do? There is a old-fashioned way that seems to be very effective that I want to throw out to the farming community this morning. And in the olden days, whenever there was a, as we would say, a wash, calling it locally, in the cane field, you would have seen the managers go and they would gather trash and the stock meat, the dry ones, and pack them into that area. And looking back on that now, we see the value of it because it prevented the further erosion. I would like to suggest to our young farmers, especially who are on lands at a slope, to consider mulching. And the mulch this morning that I really want to look at is the what we would call the thorn in the farmer's side, guinea grass. Because there is no better mulch right now during this period than guinea grass. Because of the nature of it, it tends to drop, cut the movement of the soil. And because of the slenderness of the body, it can swerve with the pressure, and it helps a lot, tremendously good to cover for during this period. So I would like to suggest to our farmers that now is the time we begin to put the guinea grass to good use. Cut them, especially if you have freshly hollowed or bank area. Cover it before you start to lose it.
So we know that hurricane season begins from 1st June until November. When do the farmers here in the Federation, both St. Kitts and Nevis, when do they decide that they're going to stop planting the, or start planting the crops that will grow better during the season and stop planting the ones that grow atop the soil?
When should they consider? That's a very tricky question because that's a personal decision. One can say, okay, I'm going to bite the bullet. We just might not get any hurricane during this the lifespan of this crop. So I'm going to chance it. But you don't do that, and if it do comes, then you begin to blame someone because you made the call, you made the decision, you suffer your loss. So here is where we need to be wise, as we would say, penny wise, rather than pound foolish. You select, okay, the season really starts in June. But according to the forecast, it is starting earlier. So if you say, okay, April is where I'm going to cut off planting my tomatoes and sweet pepper and broccoli, things that are above the ground. Then, you know, within the first to second month, so between June and July, you would be harvesting. When the bulk of the rain begins to come in August, September, you would be well on your way with the second crop, where you can now put in your ground cover to help and protect the soil and give you a better yield.
You mentioned, I thought sweet potatoes grow, you mentioned that they won't grow so well or absorb the nutrients so well during the storms?
Okay, no, what happened is that sweet potato, within the first 17 days of planting, that is when the vine begin to make root. And the root would begin to develop, which is storage and which is feeder. That means that they need a lot of moisture. Now, if you don't have that moisture around during the first 17 days, what is going to happen is that the roots would not really develop. All would be going towards feeding because they are going helter-skelter to get food.
You say moisture, right?
Yeah.
When you say moisture, I'm trying to understand this concept. You mean water, or it needs... It's not just water that it needs, because I'm thinking moisture is water, right?
Yeah, water, basically. When the ground is wet, soil... wet and saturated, it does better.
Okay.
Because it has more, and once it has it's feeding itself, it begins to store.
Okay.
And they begin an early o'clock to show you what is going to be a storage room and what is going to be a feeder room.
Okay. Fair
so
enough.
the first 17 days in the life of the sweet potato is crucial. And therefore, this is something we need to consider. Now, one of the challenges we are going to have is that if you plant sweet potato, depends on the variety, in late August, early September, they would not be ready in time for Christmas.
How long does a sweet potato
Well,
take to be?
like I said, depends on the variety. There's one we have 3 months, there's 4 months, there's 5 months.
Okay, the purple skin sweet potato. How long does that take? Because I wanna get into it. We know the purple skin. How long does that take?
Okay, it has 3 different type of purple potato. It has a white skin, purple and white flesh. It has a white skin, pure purple, and it has a reddish purple skin that is purple inside. That last one tends to mature faster than the other two.
Okay.
So that if you plant the purple skin, red skin, then you would be able to harvest that in 3.5 to 4 months.
Okay.
The other one with the white skin, that would take about 4.5 to 5 months. So then it really depends on what you're looking at. So if you want to plant, then you have to consider, hey, would I bite the bullet and plant late July, early August, knowing that they would come in time for Christmas, even though the yield might not be as big as it would normally be if I plant it in September and reap it in January. You know, so those are things.
I realize that's how long these things take. We see these things and we think that they're
readily
readily available. I never knew, so I learned something new today.
Yeah.
Okay.
So these are some of the things we need to look at, and at the same time, while we're looking at the protection of the soil, here is where farmers again need to understand that depends on what you have planted and depends on what you intend to plant. Here's where you have to be even more careful with the use of chemicals. Because, for example, if you are going to spray a weedicide that is synthetic, that the plant has to absorb that before it begins to take effect. And therefore, in so doing, you know that other stuff, or let's say the desired plants could be affected with the runoff, the water washing it off, and they become affected. So you have to be mindful if you're going to use any chemical during this period, choose your time carefully and make sure that there is no clouds in the sky that would threaten rain, that would actually damage the soil and the other crops that you don't want to get damaged. So these are things that we need to know, and these are things we need to begin to implement if we're going to be looking at helping ourselves in this whole economy of agriculture and making it easier and better for us going forward.
Okay, that's fair enough. So what other advice would you give to the farmers? As you said, we're in the season. We see Hurricane Beryl. She's the baddest since 1933.
Category 5. And
I know. She just keeps going up and down. She just can't make up her mind.
Typical woman.
Oh,
anyhow.
Can we get this guy, folks?
Ladies, please, no offense. Practical. Just being honest. Can't help. Yeah, but right. you know, women normally change their minds fast, and mind it has it good and bad, because sometimes men we set our head in one way, and that's all we see.
You have to wear extra big hat today. You have to cover your face once you leave the studio, right? Because you're gonna be in trouble.
Ask Jamster that. He knows that better than I do.
See, Jamster staying out of it.
So yes, really, you know, that's a light moment.
Yeah.
But we really need to consider the whole aspect of the hurricane season, how active it's going to be, and what we can do. To me, it makes no sense that we go into it blindly.
Yes.
And then at the end of the season, we begin to cry, oh, brokes because the crop didn't produce and blah, blah, blah. You could avoid the additional expenses. Do it. And be on top of the game. Some people are clamoring for crop insurance. And we know the region that we are living in. It is going to be rather difficult for any company to really give you a blanket policy, because then they have a lot of work to do in terms of assessment, evaluating how you They would have to be periodically visiting your farm to see that you're following.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You're not putting yourself in a position that they would mitigate, you know. Mm-hmm. So therefore, we will have to look at it seriously and know that this is a long way down the road. But in the meanwhile, there are things that we can do on a local and personal level to assist. One of the other things we can do is use what we call windbreak. Mm-hmm. Plant trees around your farm, plant them in strategic positions that when the wind begins to blow, they break the wind. When the wind hit that, the wind rises, and those vines would be able to have a better life because of the windbreak. Okay. So we need to consider that as well to make sure that we are protecting not only the plant, but the soil and ourselves.
So how early? Okay, let's say I decided I want to go into farming. How early should I put trees on my property? As soon as I start?
As soon as you start. You can never do it too early.
And how many trees are we speaking about, Mr. Solomon?
That depends on what you want to get into and the location and the layout of your land, because each farmer would have a particular plan in mind how they're going to use the land. Mm-hmm. So you would have to put your trees in strategic positions that you say, okay, the tractor would walk from here to here, it would walk from here to here, and now put in the line of tree as a windbreaker to protect what is above. You know, so it depends on the layout that the farmer really looks at for his or her farm.
I visited a farm, Strong Farms, and only now the trees make sense to me. Okay. I just thought there were trees there for...
Just growing?
Yeah. But now I understand. You see, as I say, you learn something new every day. Now I'm visualizing the farm, and I'm like, so that's why the trees are...
There's a plan,
Okay. Fair
and
enough.
At the same time, you would look at the way the wind is blowing, the direction that you get most of the wind from.
Yes.
And you would plant to accommodate that.
Okay.
There are certain trees that stand up very well in wind. Mm-hmm. They don't really lean with the wind. They would stand their own. And you would have to know, well, okay, with these trees around, then I need to plant them at the first line of defense to protect the second one that would sway with the wind. So therefore, you have to know the trees and what you're going to do. One of the trees that I would wish to recommend, though, it does not come very tall, very big, but it tends to be firm.
Okay.
It's a soursop tree.
Oh, really? And I find as soon as my neighbor has a soursop tree that's currently tied with a rope and tied on his shed outside, and I see the poor soursop tree, it's getting an indentation and like it's squeezing. It's like it's waist straining to me, right?
Yeah.
Because it's being squeezed. Because the last storm, that thing bent so much it came over on my roof, and then it lost a lot of its limbs. So like I'm shocked.
It's going to leave, but it's going to rebound much quicker than most of the other plants.
Okay.
And the shade is going to be there. In addition to that, too, because of the nature of the tree and it does not get very tall, it tends to have more leaf, more coverage.
Yeah.
So it also helps to protect what is beyond it. So that is one of the trees I would recommend. Some people go for what we call the rainfall tree or the gladyscedar tree, but those tend to have leaves only at the top.
Oh, okay.
So the bottom portion is bare. And not only that, they carry with them a disease. Ooh. At a certain time in the leaves begin to get brown and then black, and whatever crops are nearby begin to have the same fungus. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So one of the trees I would highly recommend is a soursop tree.
Okay, fair enough. Listen, I didn't know all of these things were included in farming. So any other advice you have for the farmers as we are in storm season? Storms are in full effect.
That is for crop farmers, but for livestock farmers, I would strongly suggest that they consider right at this moment. It's a bit late, but better late than never, is to do the necessary check to make sure that your stalls, your pens, your covered area for your animals are in good condition. I know we would say, well, who could stand against a category 5? But all may not be 5. You might have a 1 or 2, you might have a 3. And if you can mitigate in those areas, it means that you're minimizing for the 5. So when the 5 do come, you would have already tested it in 1, 2, or 3 areas and see going forward. But I think these are things we need to look at and look at it seriously. I know that most of these things that I'm talking about has to it some time, some energy, and finally some costs.
Yes.
But then for me, it is better for us to look at it now and prevent the loss later.
Okay, fair enough.
So that is why I'm saying this morning that these are things we need to really consider, really implement as soon as possible to make sure that we are protecting our farms.
Okay.
Especially now that we are going into, quite a few farmers are going into bananas and planting, and this is an area the trees would grow very fast too, but they are not as sturdy in terms of structure. The body is not as sturdy as a soursop tree.
Do you want to take a call, Solomon?
Yes.
Call or go right ahead.
Yes, good morning.
Hey.
Good morning.
To me, we should have been more aggressive discussion on this program here this morning.
Okay.
For example, right, the hurricane didn't hit us directly, but indirectly it did. Our food supply from the Windward Islands, it's going to be reduced. We ain't looking into these things. And what's going on presently now with the permanent Secretary of Agriculture and the Minister himself. I've been talking about this, and it's time enough for these men and seems to be understanding. This man with the passport and the jail thing, right? He opened up a lot of eyes in this country. Because these men, it seems to me like they're going to run this administration into a second recall assault, you know. How is it the only two persons could direct in this whole thing with agriculture is the permanent secretary and the Minister of Agriculture? They want nobody else at the round table to sit down and discuss with them. How much thousands of pounds of produce was wasted? How much hundreds of thousands of dollars just went to waste? And then you tell farmers don't bring back no more produce. He's discouraging the farmer, and he go have his children working with him. Look at what might happen now. Discourage them children there, right? The money what they were supposed to make, they make it. So the money from that there going into Social Security. It's a lot of things these men harvesting twice a month, twice a week, you know. They got their own farm, you know. But how come they being very productive, but not we? The food chain start it don't cut. I heard the Prime Minister make mention to the minister who is responsible for the music festival. How great he congratulated her for she and she team of workers. But we can't say that for agriculture. The really farmers weighing on a say. Because presently no. 7 months and growing. I can't do nothing on my farm. I can't plant. I can't do nothing. I had drip lines, mill the fence and all of that. Agriculture department came in on my farm with an MOU, a memorandum of understanding. They're going to clear up my land, we fence it. I set up myself. I can't get it done. Can't get it though. Can't get it though. And when they're done, they say I'm problematic. But I'm going to cut now my card. After 11, I'll come back. Goodbye, thanks.
Okay, if I may respond to that farmer, I know him personally. I want to say that the damage that the Windward Islands suffer, it's a blessing in disguise. Because it is going to show our local people now that we are still dependent on foreign food.
Yeah.
And it's a challenge to the farming community to step up and fill that void. I've been saying it for years that as a farmer, my competitor is not the farmer next door to me. It's not the farmer down the road from me. My competitor is those containers, those pontoons that comes in twice per month or weekly.
Yes.
Those are our competitors.
Yeah.
And we got to get to the point that we let our people know eating local is best.
Indeed, because when I look at the tomatoes that we get from overseas and the sweet potatoes that we get from overseas, will never compare to what is planted local here.
And while I would agree with the caller that the government need to get more aggressive,
yeah,
I would not look at it from the point of being aggressive with the farmers. Mm-hmm. What I think is that the government need to be more aggressive in terms of the investors, When they come in, you say, listen, we have a vibrant agricultural community here, and we're expecting you, we're going to put it in the contract, in the agreement, that you would at least purchase 50 to 75% of the food you're going to use from local farmers.
Yes.
Create the market
and
allow the farming community to strive. I have seen it done in Nevis with Four Seasons, and up until today, Four Seasons is still ranking way on the top in terms of food.
Yeah, and
it's
from
preparation,
the local farmers, right?
And it is local.
Yeah.
So why can't our local people in SK recognize and learn from that? Yeah. Those people who are going out there to negotiate, why can't they initiate that contact early so that the investor would know, okay, this is something they're looking at, and if we want to support the community, here is where we go.
Yeah.
Now, in terms of the minister and the PS, that's their problem. I'm not going to get in it. That is administrative. Let them deal with that. What I can say, though, is that we as farmers need to come together. We don't have to depend on the government to do everything for ourselves. There are cooperatives, there are organizations that you can be a part of that can be that would empower you to get where you want to go. Too many of us sit with our hands in the lap and waiting for the handout from the government. Nonsense. Who should determine whether a farmer eat, wear clothes, pays bills, or survive at all? That's your God-given responsibility. So don't try to shift it on someone else because we're being negligent. As farmers, we are. And I'll say something that would aggravate some farmers, but truth is, as farmers, most of us are very selfish.
Oh boy.
I'm being honest, and therefore we cannot see the other person, and we don't want to share with the other person. It's me and me alone. I control my market. You can't control your market for a good week, never mind 12 months.
I thought, we're almost out of time, but I thought that the caller said something that's very important. It hit me when he said it, that you have this hurricane that just affected the Grenadines and St. Vincent. And yes, he's right. That very well might Barbados as well, because we do get stuff from Barbados. The Pine Hill juices, and so you never know.
But that's what
yeah. So I think we have to think more. We have to really think about the fact that things might get
and 25 is next year, and are we really ready for the 25 by 25?
And then we have the rest of the hurricane season to worry about as well.
So then, Jamso, let me throw the ball back at your feet. Why don't you invest some of those cash that you're putting in the bank in an industry that could help to feed the nation? Why do we as a people have to think that money in the bank is riches? That's not riches. Why can't we invest to improve ourselves and the country that we so love? So it's a concept, and it's something that we need to look at rather than just throwing the blame out. We have to look at what could be my portion, my contribution to it. And these are the hard questions we need to ask ourselves.
Okay. We're going to take one more call, and then we have to wrap because, farm report. Go right ahead, caller.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, I'd like to thank Mr. Morton for sitting in today. Very interesting. Something that Mr. Tweed said that get my attention, and he's so correct when he speaks about the damage done to the Windward Islands. As is, we having difficulty finding local produce. And I know that within a couple of weeks, we will actually feel the effect of the hurricane when the boat from the Windward Island is unable to come. And as I look out yesterday, I realized that the tropical had in difficulty to dock also. I don't know if he get to dock, and I know that also will create a problem. Because if the pontoons are there with the food and he's unable to dock, I guess he's going to leave the port and go somewhere else. That will have a delay in distribution. So that's something we have to bear in mind, that the next couple of weeks will be very harsh on us. And that only highlight the failure of the government approach towards agriculture. Here are we in July. This is the 7th month. And we were talking about the 25 by 25. By now, we should have been bearing fruits. We should have been bearing fruits by now, but we are not. And though some people trying to dodge away from that issue, it is an issue. And why we are not bearing fruit from the 25 by 25, that is another discussion we need to have. The government satisfied with what is unveiling in the 25 by 25? I realize now that the talking points have shifted. The talking points for the 25 by 25 now has shifted to food production. Now they are saying that they are going to increase the production of food by 25%, when the 25 by 25 was to decrease the import bill by 25%. So the talking points now has shifted. And these are things that we need to point out and find out why is it that at the end of this period, the 25 by 25 period, the farmers will live in a worse position than they started, because that's where it is heading. Some people will say they give farmers drip, they give farmers ground covered. Those things has done before. In the first time it happened, it had done before. So what they're doing now, if they choose to sit down with the farmers and roll out a program that was designed by the farming community, then they might see more bang for the buck. And at the end of it, is the farmers are the one who will suffer, because when you go to finance and finance say, well, we just spent X amount of millions and you, the farming community, with nothing to show for it, justify why we should be spending more money on you. So in the long run, they are setting up the farmers to fail and to stay in this state of dependency. That's how I view what's going on with the 25 by 25. But once again, I just thank Mr. Morton for sitting in today, and I enjoy the program.
Yeah, thank you, Troy. Mr. Morton, it was indeed a pleasure chatting with you. I learned so much today, and I look forward to seeing you again sometime, maybe next Wednesday even. Why you laugh, Mr. Morton? Why?
No, it's not possible.
It's not possible?
Not for next Wednesday.
You will be busy tilling the soil?
Yeah.
Okay. You're preparing to ensure okay.
So that when it comes late in the year,
we hope none comes.
Food would be on your table.
Thank you, Mr.
Whether it comes or not, I have to do my preparation.
Thank you so much. I like the fact that you have both surnames, so I can say Mr. Solomon and Mr. Morton. Mr. Morton, it's always a pleasure. See you sometime again, okay? Says he's going to get
Solomon,
me.
always nice to have you.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Nice being here as well. Hope that the information would be greatly appreciated and acted upon.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah, bye.
And we hope you come back soon.
Okay.
That's me.
Okay, so we have a very
guys.
we have a very interesting section coming up next. Farm Report is brought to you by Feed and Farm. Let's hear from Feed and Farm Rams, and we come back with Enoite Inanga. He's going to be talking about AI and some of his exploits at the St. Kitts Music at the St. Kitts Music Festival over the weekend. Coming right back.
For all your animal needs, try the Feed and Farm Store SKN. We have the best quality products in feed, dewormers, grooming supplies, toys, treats, and minor medical supplies. Drop by the store on the Kim Collins Highway at the airport roundabout. We're open from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday to Friday and 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Saturdays. Give us a call at 669-FARM.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Magnum, my brand. Everybody put your Magnum in the air now. From you a drink Magnum, make me see. Take charge of things now your place now. From the river to the beach to the street. Hot Magnum when me have in me hand there. He are a sipper, she tell me sweet. Look for me watch for your quick time check. Yeah. Right now a Magnum a for your beat. Enjoy yourself every day of the week with a Magnum. My life I forget sweeter. Must be 18 years and older to drink. Drink responsibly.
Feel the magic happening. Campari. Taste.
Something incredible happens when Campari is mixed just right. Like Campari and orange juice poured over ice. Taste it. Try it tonight. Bitter, sweeter, better. Campari. Must be 18 years and older. Drink responsibly.
Let's stop child sexual abuse. The age of consent is 16, yet our 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, and 10-year-olds are becoming victims of sexual abuse and exploitation, which is being forced into sexual activity before they are old enough to decide. This causes mental, emotional, and physical harm to our children. Parents, it is your responsibility to protect and to educate your children. Develop a relationship of trust with your child. If they trust you, they will tell you. Child sexual abuse cannot be our norm. We must work together to correct this. Help us prevent, help us protect, help us prosecute. A message by the Department of Probation and Child Protection Services. Contact us at 467-1311 or 662-6833 for more information.
And we are here with Enoita in anger. Maestro, what's up?
Man, don't get me in anger because I am in anger.
Listen. Okay.
Don't get me in anger because I am in anger. A happy in anger. That's a paradox.
I know. Happy in anger. It's interesting. You should name your next kid that. Happy in anger.
Happy in anger. Oh.
Yes, no, seriously.
Happiness.
Happy, yeah.
In anger.
Happiness in anger.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, that's even better. Happiness.
Okay.
Hey.
I asked him something earlier, but we're not gonna say it on radio. After this, I'm gonna tell you what he said, right?
Okay.
But we're not
why?
gonna say it on radio. No.
She asked me, why do I look so young?
I said, what's the secret to keeping young? You want to know what he says? Oh my gosh. Jam, so we're gonna tell you all.
Very naughty?
No, it's a fact.
Okay.
It's a fact.
Music?
Oh, no. Something way better than that.
He doesn't have a girlfriend.
Oh, okay.
Listen,
okay.
he's
okay.
gonna get
okay,
beat.
okay.
Somebody's gonna get him.
Okay.
No.
He's not wrong. He's not wrong.
You see?
Oh my
wrong.
God!
You
How
see?
could you?
Two things can be true. You know?
Listen, we just use a little bit of EI just now. Do you know what EI is? Anointed intelligence. That's what that was. But today we're really here to talk about AI. Right? You guys would know that's the big moniker that's always in the news now. It's everywhere. If you want to make money, if you want to be relevant, just put AI at the end of everything that you do on your website and everything. And so finally, let's applaud the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank for being intentional with this new wave of technology. The proliferation of what's happening in tech is that the AI, the tech race is now premised on who is able to leverage AI for your businesses, for customer service, for education, for everything. And so this year, that's what I'm going to talk about. We're having an innovative camp dealing with artificial intelligence, coding, and Python from July through August. The dates, July 15th through August 13th. Age range, 13 to 17. Now, guess what? They're going to be learning how to code without necessarily having any coding background prior.
Okay.
It's going to be fun. It's going to be interactive. It's going to be immersive. And at the end of this camp, they will know how to create a chatbot. Now, a chatbot is one of those things that you go on a website and you say, hey, do you have any problems? Can you talk to me? And normally you're talking to a human being. No. Now, that's going away. You're going to be talking to a machine that understands all the things that you need to know based on its collation and collection and interpretation of big data.
Okay.
These kids are going to learn how to create their own chatbots to solve common teething customer service problems in the region. And that's a big deal, because one of the things that we don't do very well here is customer service. And guess what? We've been talking about it forever and forever and forever. And you know what? Listen, if you're not going to do it, just let the machines do it. Don't complain.
But are you concerned that we will not be needed soon enough with AI and the machines?
I don't think that's going to
Girl,
happen.
that is a valid question. Wait.
It is a good question.
That's a valid question, right? So let me tell you, let's go back in time. When we had an abacus, the people who were manufacturing abaci, that's the plural of abacuses, would have been like, wait, calculators are here. They can add faster than we can do that. Blasphemy. Blasphemous. Why would you go and no?
But you know what's interesting is I had this question for you before you even brought up that, when you were talking about how you're going to teach your kids. Are you going to use the 21st century equivalent of the calculator in those classes and have the kids use AI to write little programs for them?
So very good question. So the camp is broken up into 4 different weeks. The first week is going to be really introducing into Python, right? And the second week is now going into AI. Python is a scripting language that's used to solve lots of big data problems. A lot of people who go into big data must know Python.
Okay.
Great. So second week is AI. I actually have been a part of the curriculum development along with Quintessential Consulting, that's Telly Onu, and IRD. Big up to Shahid KB. That's the person who had demoed the IRD's chatbot at the growth and I can't remember what the ECB had a workshop earlier this year.
Okay.
They showed they actually had a actual chatbot at IRD that's actually working. Her name is Keisha. She has a name. But to answer your question, we are going to teach them how to code. We're also going to expose them to prompt engineering. That is learning how to use AI tools to help you to generate your own code. But prior to that, they will be using their brains, and we will be challenging them to just crawl before they actually get into the spaceship. Because that's it. They're going to be crawling, and then once you start leveraging prompt engineering, that's it. You're gone, clear. We're not going to have them be lazy in that regard. So we're going to expose them to many different things as possible. There will be problem solving, doing math stuff. Again, Python is very good for that. In fact, big shameless plug, I will be teaching pure math again this year and at CFPC, and I am intentional about making sure my students will be using Python to solve some of their math problems in their homework. And that's because in the real world, when you're asked to solve problems and you're depending on an Excel spreadsheet, you can use Python for that, and it gives you a lot more granular flexibility that Excel will not give you. But I digress. We're here to get the kids excited about.
How do they sign up for this excitement?
Very, very good. Very, very good. Well, there is a flyer that I do have with me. I can leave it with you guys. You can post it on your Facebook page, and so you guys can check the WINNMedia Facebook.
I'll try and mention it
page.
some additional time.
And there is it's free. It's free, and from 9 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. it's going to be at the CUNA Caribbean Conference Center. Now, before I finish, there's a cash prizes involved for these chatbots that are going to be created in these groups, these project groups. I mean, the purse is at least $16,000
to be distributed overall.
Well, that I'm not giving you more details.
Okay.
This is marketing.
Okay.
You call out big number.
But let me
get
ask
people
you,
to be excited. 16 grand, right? Whether it's for one person or for everybody, we don't know. We'll come and you find out. All I know is that it is $16,000, and you'll be happy to know that you will get money if you do very well. That's it.
But you still haven't told me how I can sign up.
That's what I just told you. It's gonna be on the
media.
We have a poster.
Okay.
There's a link here.
Is there a cost attached?
It's free, $100.
Oh, free.
$300. $300.
300. Did you get it?
Is there a certain amount of children? Is there a cutoff? Because I'm sure parents listening are going to try to get their children.
Listen, send one, send all. Send one, send all. Okay? We have the space, and we will be excited.
What's the age?
13 to 17.
13 to 17.
Yeah.
Can she go?
Okay. My daughter, yeah, but my son, no.
Yes, send your daughter.
Is he 9 or 10? Can't remember.
And like I said, you don't necessarily have to have prior coding experience. Just have a very curious mind and an aptitude for learning. That is very important. An aptitude for learning. I can't stress that enough, because if you don't have that, then you're going to be bored very quickly. And you must bring your own devices. Oh yes, because we
obviously.
Bring your own devices that are not dinosaurs. That way you're not.
Ooh, you'd be rough. So
it would have to be.
Just a laptop.
It would have to be Windows, or would a Chromebook be okay?
With a Chromebook, very good question. A Chromebook will be okay because we are making sure we're leveraging a lot of cloud-based solutions.
Okay.
So everything is mostly on the cloud, to be honest, at this point.
Okay.
And that's because once your computer can connect to the cloud easily, then the how powerful your machine doesn't really matter anymore, because you're leveraging all the intelligence and the resources of the cloud for that regard. You know, so it's called the Generative AI and Python Summer Camp 2024. And if you want any questions answered, you can contact any of these two numbers, 669-0673 or 763-3427. That's 669-0673 or 763-3427. Now, I was continuing to answer your question about AI replacing human beings. You know, we cannot adopt that mindset, because we have shown that every time there has been a advance or a new or more efficient way to do things in life, yes, there have been some teething pains, but overall, humanity won out. So let's go back to the horse and carriage. I mean, when we started having the combustion engine in vehicles, the people who were dealing with the horses were like, hey, they probably would have been upset. Like, no, you can. But guess what? There's less poop in the streets, right? And it's a lot.
Less poop, more emissions.
Right? But I mean, we went from those emissions to gas emissions. But still, I mean, there are teething pains. There's an opportunity cost for not embracing technology. Now, I am a purist, and I never, ever want to forget what it's like to be a human. Jamsa was asking me this question just earlier about using AI to do animation and stuff. And I said to him, I said, listen, I don't care how amazing that tool is. There is something about inherently unique about how I think and how I want things to be that a machine still cannot figure out. Okay? It just can't do it. You know, so AI for me is just maybe a launch pad towards something else that's amazing that I can do, that I can create. But I just know within me that I can't necessarily, I don't think a machine can do that.
You know, when you think about it, it's just basically glorified paint by numbers programming, basically, because you would have had to put all those
correct
you know, let's say prompts or things
correct
in there for it, so it really can't do anything creative.
It can't. It's really statistics. all of these things is almost the garbage in, garbage out. Whatever you put in is what you're gonna get out. Now this is right now, as you see, AI is the dumbest it would ever be. It's gonna get even smarter as the years progress, and but at the end of the day,
it's still gonna lack that je ne sais quoi that makes us
right.
human,
That's what I said. I'd never ever want us to forget what it's like to be human, and everything that I do as a facilitator at this camp, I am going to be. There's also ethics we're going to be talking about. So we're not just going to hang them out there to dry. We're going to expose them to everything that they need to be exposed to, and there will be paths towards getting certifications afterwards. So it's a big deal, and I'm excited as an educator.
But you can't leave here without talking about your music festival exploits over the weekend.
Lord have mercy.
So tell us about that.
Oh my gosh, Music Fest! What you call it? That's what we call a pivot. So I went to Music Fest this weekend, and hold on, I am being spoken. Okay, so before I speak about that, I'm just looking at my phone that we need to let you guys know that transportation will be dealt with by the Ministry of Education, and so you guys don't have to worry about that. So we're taking care of that. So this is a collaborative effort.
Where will the transportation be? Where will be the pickup points? Say
that is a question I don't have the answers to right now.
Just make sure you send it to us, and
we will find that out and get it back to you.
We'll disseminate the information.
So I'm also being told that when I said $300, it doesn't sound like free. It is free, okay?
Yeah,
it is
you
free.
Have to listen really.
Okay, it is 100% free. The only thing you will have to walk with is your food, right? And so I'm being told transportation is from the country. So that's right. So yeah. So via the school buses. So I think if you have been on the school buses going to school, I think it will be pretty much the same
pretty much know
process.
What to do, yeah.
You would know what to do, right?
What's the start time?
Start time for what? Pickup?
Yeah.
In time to reach there for 9 o'clock.
Okay. So as you said,
the
persons who catch the bus will know. Go ahead, Jamson.
No, I'm just gonna say, and I imagine the people who are customer dropping their kids to school will probably do that, and of course, maybe the kids that live nearby will probably just walk.
So I'm being told reach for 8:30. So which makes sense. So that you reach.
Sort of like a typical school day.
Yeah, you reach. Yeah. You don't reach for 9.
Exactly. It can be 9.
You reach for 8:30, so you can settle in, and
And you really have to insist on that because you know how we do with punctuality.
It's different for school.
Yeah.
It's different for school.
Listen, you know how we used to rush to school because we know Miss Cable or Mr. Vaughn is going to be waiting with the strap to beat us. I see kids strolling to school at 8:30. We see 8:20 and we running across the road to get there because we know lashes are going to ensue once the bell rings. These kids are taking their time and just going to school. And I know their parents would have gotten them up early. So I'm not going to say, because the parents gone to work, the kids. No, the kids have. They're just doing as they please,
Miss Cable? No, Miss Cable. Miss Cable, you got Miss Cable?
Yes.
One of the sweetest teachers I ever had.
Miss Cable is the sweetest, but when Miss Cable mean business, Miss Cable mean business. But Mr. Vaughn was more Rita because Mr. Vaughn always had the strap on his hands. But yeah, once you get to the office with Miss Cable, then you get Miss Cable.
She doesn't use a cable.
Never got licks from
No cable.
I used to always say, it's a funny thing. In school, I always used to hear people say, they got licks from Mr. Vaughn, and I never saw that side of him. Wow. Which is funny, yeah. Never.
More details are being put to me. I'm just saying, pickup will be from 7:45, and depending on their locations, and details will be published. So again, there's a form to fill out. There's an intake form.
Are the forms at the school or online?
They're online. Everything's online. So you put all that information in, and I'm pretty sure from that communication will go out to people who've already signed up, and all this information will be crystal clear. But for now, we just want you to sign up.
Do you know what is the vision or the outcome that is being hoped for this camp?
Yes, a chat bot at the end of the camp that you will know how to create one. You'll be able to know how to leverage AI to do basic and also solve problems.
Okay.
And with that, you will be able to also get certifications in any one of those subfields in AI. Because you will be exposed to, like, it's a lot of work. Let me just let you guys know. This is not a situation where you're just going to be cutting and pasting. No, man. You're going to have to literally use your brain.
Okay.
You're going to have to be in groups. You're going to have to work together with teams and solve problems. We will be giving you guys little things to do, problems to solve throughout the camp. We'll have labs. You know, every day there will be a different lab, right? So this is unlike what you're used to.
Quick question.
Premising this is different.
Are these types of chatbots, do they have to pass a Turing test? Not really.
So, with respect to a chatbot, let me make sure I understand your question.
Meaning, is the design going to be intended to be indistinguishable from a human to the person, someone using
that
it?
is what you want at the end of the day. You want, when you're using these tools, that you are not inconvenienced because it's a chatbot.
Okay.
It has to be able to solve your problems and answer your questions.
Because the reason I asked, because I realized, and you kind of, a question I was going to ask, you kind of answer, you say it's not going to be easy, because I know this involves a lot of predictive reasoning, where you have to sit down and say, well, if someone asks this question,
you have to anticipate the questions that will be asked.
If it's yes, then what's the next?
Yes, there's a lot of that. There's a lot of logic.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Collecting your data, cleaning your data, tuning your data. There's a lot of processes that goes into this, and they're going to learn about this. Now, clearly, it's going to be. Listen, coding is like language. If you say "How are you?" in English, in Nigerian, Yoruba is Bawoni. I mean, it's the same thing. It's intended to convey an inquiry into how you're doing, right? In other words, you're going to be exposed to coding, but at the end of the day, it's a language. And once you understand the basics, you can take it and use it and do wonderful things.
Oh, I just realized. Sorry, listeners, I didn't say what the Turing test is. A test in robotics and computers where it's a test that you use where an AI system is supposed to be almost indistinguishable from actually speaking to a human being. So that's what the Turing test does, where you can have a chat with an AI program, and if you can't tell that you're not talking to a human being, then it passed the Turing test.
Oh.
So I just wanted to.
That's very good. Yeah, so we will make sure that they, again, are exposed to as much as possible so that they can try to make sure that when people use their app, that they know, like, oh, this is a machine. I mean, it's not, trust me, it's not there yet, right? But it's going to get better. Right now, I'm just want to make sure that we all are on the same page. It's camp happening starting from this month, mid-month, and all the way through till August, and it's free. Okay, it's free, and we are going to have fun. We have some. I mean, if you know I'm involved in this, right?
Yeah. That's gonna be
the
good.
icebreakers. You guys remember when I had an icebreaker in here? With Tivano, you know, remember when I had Tivano? What we did? I didn't tell you what we did for icebreaker. I literally brought ice and a pick. And they literally had to break the ice in the studio. That was an icebreaker. So we're going to have some fun icebreakers every day. And I can't wait. I'm excited.
Pick is a pretty dangerous tool.
Okay, it wasn't a pick, Joe. It was like a knife or something.
Yeah, okay.
Like a table knife.
Same difference.
See, listen.
Don't want to rain in your parade. No.
Listen, don't rain on the parade. Don't rain on this parade, because I'll just get me in anger. So July 15th through till August 13th. Let me reiterate those dates. July 15th
about a month,
through till August. It's a whole month.
Okay, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Right?
And for free, I think.
It is for free.
Parents, I think this is something.
Free. It's a camp that you will be happy to send your kids to and not have any. There'll be AC. Can you imagine the AC, the camp?
Yeah,
they're not gonna sweat. So pack your jackets.
That's a pretty good reason to be there.
Pack your jackets and everything. So I can't wait.
Yeah, because I just this is the kind of thing I love because it just helps us to build the foundation to get away from just being rank consumers.
Thank you.
And being creators. And coders.
Now screen time is relevant.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
exactly.
Now you don't have to tell your kids, get off that screen, you're spending too much time. Mommy, I'm coding. Right? And next thing, you will find your kids coding a way to actually
hide the bad stuff.
It's not just that. Imagine if you have kids who actually can code a way to respond to mom and dad when she's typing to you on WhatsApp.
Yes, imagine that. Yeah, that's crazy.
That would be so cool. Mm-hmm. So kids, I mean, that's a good thing, huh? It's a good thing if they're actually that smart to be able to literally find ways to get your phone to respond to your mom and dad when they don't want to talk to you.
Ferris Bueller 2.0.
Yes.
You ever saw that movie?
I did not see it recently, but that's a long time ago. Okay. Long
okay,
time.
so we gotta shut it. You want to come back tomorrow?
Tomorrow? What's tomorrow?
You're always fun to have around. So
yeah. I want you guys to ask me to to grace the studio with my presence
tomorrow.
Who you got?
Thursday,
tomorrow?
And she won't be here, so that'll be perfect. So you can come back tomorrow.
Yeah, man. Let's
yeah.
And we could talk some
and
music.
I'm always sad when she's not here.
We could talk some music. And then she won't ask me that same question. And she asked me, oh, Lord. It's in the genes, man.
Okay.
It's in the genes. Why do I stay looking so young? It's the genes. Like Levi and Lee.
Okay. Folks, it was a pleasure. Same place, same time. Happy Hump Day.
And Anoite Lee, Levi, Larry in anger will join us.
Don't get me in anger because I am happy in anger. Bye.
Okay.
All right.